to my YouTube channel. So today I am painting Aviana's Bible. Aviana is my little 9-month-old sunflower. So originally I wanted to paint this Bible prior to her birth, but then I decided I'm not going to do it because I first want to get to know my child and I wanted to get to know the type of person that she is. Well, I know you can't tell a lot about a 9-month-old baby, but Aviana is very interesting, and she is super light, fair skinned, and she has like this very soft strawberry blonde hair, and she looks so pretty and yellow is like her color. And so I decided I'm going to paint her Bible yellow, and I pre-designed this whole artwork on my iPad before I painted it to make sure that I have, first of all, no spelling mistakes, and second of all, that I at least know what I'm working towards. So then I printed out the little illustrations that I wanted to add to my Bible, and after I more or less checked if they matched, I started covering my Bible with paint. So I'm using the Americana Deco art acrylics to paint my Bible. This is an ESV Interleaved Bible, or to paint Aviana's Bible, this is an ESV Interleaved Bible. And just something that I need to tell you: if you are attempting to paint this Bible, beware that you are going to use a lot of paint. The surface is extremely rough, and only afterwards I thought perhaps I should have used gesso on top of this before I painted it. But needless to say, I ended up painting and mixing a lot of paint to get this Bible covered. So I had this baby grow that she likes to wear a lot. It's yellow and it's blue and it's very fun. And I decided I wanted to match the color more or less to the yellow on the baby grow. And so I am just going to literally now paint this Bible for the next 7 years, because that's how long it felt like I was painting this Bible. And oh, another side note, if you are painting this Bible, use an alt brush, because the Bible is covered in almost like a very rough canvas texture fabric, and it's hectic on your brush. And there where the lettering is, you might have to give it more than one coat. Also, I paint my Bibles on the inside. I very neatly and pedantically sit, and I paint the little fabric that's visible on the inside as well, to make sure that this Bible looks like it's yellow. So once I ended up finishing that, I waited for it to dry, and then I started tracing the artwork on top of it. Now, I didn't catch it in this video because my phone died, and so I didn't catch that specific part on video, but basically you do it like this. You take an HB pencil or whatever gray pencil you have available, and you scribble on the back side of the paper that you want to trace. You need to make sure that you press hard enough so that whatever surface is underneath it, when you write at the top, on top of the paper that you want to trace onto the other surface, that when you press hard enough, it will go through. So as you can see, I have been mixing a lot of paint in order to cover this Bible. I also like to mix my paint in a ceramic, because I do find that it just makes the process a lot easier, and you can clean it afterwards. I find with the plastic, what do you call these? Why can't I remember? Like with the plastic palettes, you have to, they don't want to get cleaned after a while, and they tend to like perforate if you wash them enough. So I'm just going to leave this video here basically, and then the next time I will come back, or the next video that is going to follow, will be where I start the little elements on top of the Bible. Just a side note, I got a new table in the process of painting this, because I had to paint this over a couple of days, so it might look different here towards the end, but that's just for continuity purposes if you are like me and stuff like this annoys you. Also, the lighting was not on fleek today. In any case, okay, so back to painting. So the first thing that I did was I used some white paint with a little bit of yellow to kind of just make sure that whatever color is on top of it, that it's not like a shocking white, because I really wanted it to have like an aged effect. And then I used round point brushes to do my letterings and to add like the floral details. It's just because a round point brush gives you a very small tip that you can work with. I think this was like a 1 or perhaps a 2. And so I just literally used this ink, the white paint, to do my lettering. And then once the lettering is finished, I just started painting the floral elements. So another reason why I wanted to paint floral elements for Aviana is because she really is a flower. Even when we play outside with her, she loves flowers. She eats them, she plays with them, she smells them. She can't keep her eyes off flowers. And she really is a flower. So I thought that when I paint this Bible, I would really like this Bible to represent who my child is. And she might not even like yellow. I didn't like yellow at first. And then I got Aviana, who looks like sunshine when she's in yellow. And yellow is now officially my favorite color. I have given into it, and I recently bought 6 yellow cups, which I'm so proud of because they're so pretty. And yes, so that was just why I also selected yellow. And also yellow means sunshine to me. In this current day and age, she is my sunshine. I also want to give you a tip when it comes to painting using acrylic to do lettering. So a lot of times people want to actually take the acrylic as it is. We need to decant it from the little jar or container and paint with it directly. When you dilute it slightly with water, you give the acrylic paint more fluidity, and when you paint it onto your surface, you just have better control over it and it paints easier. I find that when I dilute the watercolor paint, the paints also a little bit more, it's easier to do lettering. Especially with a brush, because when it's too thick, your brush also doesn't want to have that flow and that maneuvering that you need to create thicker and thinner strokes. So then I just closed some of the pencil marks that I didn't like because they were very dark, and then I started to paint the flowers. So I did have a reference more or less that I wanted to work from, but I didn't want it to be perfect, so I just went and painted as I felt like I'm going to add elements wherever I wanted to. And a tip as well, when you paint florals or leaves, it's best to use a round brush because the little point allows you to paint very thin, kind of like the ends of the flowers or the ends of the leaves, and to do like the little stems. And when you press harder and you open up the well of the brush, you get thicker strokes in order to mimic the side of the leaves. Painting with a round brush for me is also a very fun brush to use because it's very easy to control, and I mean, we all have a shaped round brush lying around. I like to paint with 10s, 4s, 6s. I don't actually go lower than a 4 except for very fine detail where I use a kind of like a 0.000, and yeah, so you shouldn't have to have the fanciest brushes in order to paint flowers, especially with this Bible, because the surface is so rough and so coarse. You want a bit of a brush that you don't feel extremely sorry for. Okay, so I don't know if I did mention it, I can't remember, but I will upload an illustration version of this to my Painted Lemon Facebook account, where you can go and download it and then trace it onto your own Bible. You can change it around how you want to, perhaps change the background color, add some more detail to the leaves. I wanted mine to be simple because I really wanted that contrast between the white and the yellow. And then once that is finished, just remember to seal it, especially if you're working with the Americana paints. Then, after this, once I finished adding all the little white details and elements, I'm going to add a little bit more water to the white so that the white becomes a little bit more transparent. And then I'm going to use an earbud to just make some dots or stipple marks all around the artwork. Sorry, that is my email that just go like boop. And once I finish making enough big dots, I'm just going to use a brush to make a little bit tinier dots around. I used white ink for this because I wanted it to be transparent enough so that the yellow still comes through, so that the white doesn't overpower the total image. And then I just used a smaller brush to make little variations of dots inside between the flowers. The reason why I like to do it like this, for instance, also is the little dots will complete the artwork and form the border around Aviana, which is the focal point of this artwork, because this is Aviana's Bible. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not going to show you how I painted the rest of the Bible because the steps are still simple. and then I'll just add some artworks of how my completed painting looks at the end. So I am going to leave it at this because I'm just going to be making dots for the next half an hour. So I'm going to just upload my final artwork, and then yeah, I am going to say goodbye now, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I know we're nearing the end of the year, and I know 2020 has been horrific, but I was recently reminded to not look at what you lost, but at what you gained and what you still have, that we should be thankful in everything. Yeah, and I hope that you enjoyed this. Oh, and I don't know if I did say, but I decided to add Matthew 17 verse 20 as the scripture at the back, because it reads, it's the scripture about the faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. And that is something that I'm going to drill into Aviana, because she was born in a time where faith has really been a challenge, and it has really been the thing that sustained us through all of these difficult pandemic situations that we find ourselves in. And wherever you are today, whatever you're facing, whatever you're feeling, whether you are in lockdown, post-lockdown, entering lockdown again, just remember that as long as you have faith, and remember where your strength comes from, who's your provider, who's your caretaker, everything will work out for the good of those who love Him. And that is something that I'm also clothing myself in every single day, because when you look at what's going on around us, we get all these negative things and things that incite fear in our hearts, and we need to guard our hearts. So all that you need is faith as small as a mustard seed. And thinking about it now, that little teeny tiny dots that are on the page, it also kind of makes me think about mustard seeds, so it actually worked out quite nicely. Apart from that, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, okay, bye!